Everybody, it's Kate and the Library of Whispers, and it's not only coffee time, it's also chocolate biscuit time. I'm being very indulgent today because I'm actually having 2 chocolate digestives. These are very, very, very yummy. And so I'll be having my coffee and eating some chocolate biscuits. And also, today, I thought we'd have a look at this really nice little book. It's from the RSPB, which is the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, and it's called What's That Tree? And it's the simplest ID guide ever. And there's some really nice pictures inside. You can identify leaves, what to look for and things like this. So we'll have a little read of this. I'm not absolutely certain I'll be able to pronounce some of these scientific names, so we may have to leave those. And this is also accompanied by this book as well, called What's That Flower? It's another RSPB book, and maybe we could look at this in another video. So at the moment we will look at What's That Tree? So I'm going to start with a bit of coffee and a little bit of biscuit. That is very good. Okay. I think I'm going to have to press these pages down so that I can actually see to read some of the sections. So the contents are introduction, identifying trees, tree profiles, number 1, conifers, number 2, broad leaves, simple, and number 3, broad leaves, compound, and then a tree gallery at the end. Scientific names, glossary, index, and acknowledgements. Let's read the introduction. Trees are the largest, oldest, and most complex plants on Earth. They have been around for over 350 million years and cover almost 1/3 of the Earth's land surface. There are more than 80,000 different species, plus numerous cultivars, ranging in size from tiny Arctic willows just a few centimetres high to giant American redwoods over 100 metres tall. This book is broken down into conifers, simple broadleaves, and compound broadleaves, and then further subdivided by leaf shape. It features the trees that are most commonly found in towns, parks and gardens, and in the surrounding countryside. So it will be focusing on British trees, obviously. Each species is described using clear, concise text and high-quality digital photography and illustrations. Where relevant, information is given on seasonal variations, such as the production of flowers or fruit, changing leaf colour, and winter twigs and buds. This book will enable you to identify, understand, and enjoy more than 150 different trees and will hopefully awaken a lifelong interest. If you don't mind, I'm going to have a little bit more biscuit. identifying trees. Excuse me, sorry, I have a biscuit in my throat. Looking at and identifying trees can be a fascinating and enjoyable pastime. However, unless you know what to look for, it can sometimes be confusing. The following pages aim to provide information to aid accurate identification. Two things to always bear in mind are season and location. These can affect how a tree grows and what it looks like. Season. Many trees display seasonal differences. Deciduous trees, though it in full leaf in summer, will have bare branches in winter. Deciduous leaf colour in spring will be very different to the colour in autumn. Features like winter twigs and buds, autumn leaves and spring flowers can be helpful in identifying trees in different seasons. So this is autumn leaves and winter twig. Location. The forms of trees can vary by location. For example, trees growing close to each other will be taller and thinner with fewer low branches than trees growing on their own in an open setting. Trees in exposed or cold locations are unlikely to grow as tall as those in sheltered locations. And the examples are sheltered hillside and an exposed mountainside. Tree habit. Sometimes trees can be identified from a distance simply by their habit or form. Many conifers will have a tall conical appearance, like this one, whereas many broadleaves will be broadly spreading. Just looking at the form of a tree should enable you to discount a number of identification possibilities. Once discounted, further clues such as leaf shape can be looked to for identification. So, form. Several terms are used to describe a tree's form. For example, spreading means the natural growth of the branches in branches is directed away from the main trunk. Columnar, this one, indicates that the branches stay close to the trunk. Shrub-like refers to a tree which has multiple branches or stems, like this one. Conical means the branches grow progressively shorter the higher they are on the tree. Size and growth rate. Trees display variability in their size and growth rate. For example, some oaks grow taller and faster than others of the same species due to factors such as location, soil, and the availability of water and sunlight. However, different tree species may have vastly different heights and growth rates. For example, an Arctic willow may grow less than 1 centimetre in 10 years, whereas the Lawson cypress may grow more than 100 centimetres in a year. And this one is the giant redwood. The giant redwood, also called Wellingtonia, reaches heights in excess of 100 metres in its native homeland of California, USA. Leaf shapes. Bit of biscuit first. And it's so good. leaf shapes. One of the best ways to identify a tree by its leaves. Looked at closely, they offer certain unique characteristics that can lead to a positive identification without referring to the tree's other characteristics. Although it is always best to check these for confirmation. A leaf's veining, margin, stalk, colour, sheen, and hair covering are all important clues that aid identification. So we've got long and thin, needle-like, scale-like, heart-shaped, egg-shaped, inversely egg-shaped, lance-shaped, elliptic, rounded, triangular, oblong, lobed, hand-shaped, fern-like, divided, twice divided, trifoliate, and hand-shaped, divided. I have Biscuit on my book. Leaf margins. In addition to the shape, the edges or margin of the leaf can also aid in identification. Some trees, such as oaks, have leaves with lobes around the margin. Others, such as hollies, have leaves with spiny margins. The margins of some leaves may also be toothed to varying degrees, from double-toothed to serrated and saw-toothed. So the kinds of leaf margins are smooth, wavy, toothed, lobed, deep-lobed, spiny, saw-toothed, separated, and double-toothed. And who knew that leaves were so complicated? Leaf arrangement. Single leaves, leaves in clusters, flattened sprays, opposite leaves and alternate leaves. Sorry, it's got to be a bit of biscuit again. So we have bark, which is the stuff on the outside, isn't it, of the whatever you call that thing. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Bark. Trunk, that's the word I was thinking about, sorry. Bark is the corky, waterproof layer that protects a tree's living tissue against disease and external attack. It has millions of tiny breathing pores called lenticels, which pass oxygen from the atmosphere into the tree. Constantly visible and easily accessible, bark is a useful tool for identification. Trees can be distinguished by their bark colour, texture and markings. Okay, peeling in strips. The Himalayan birch is pink, brown to white, paper-thin bark, peels off in large horizontal ribbon-like strips, like this one. And then papery flakes. The paper bark maple has a distinctive flaking bark from a very young age. Its cinnamon red bark peels in papery flakes to reveal lighter coloured fresh bark beneath. Paper bark maple. Then this one is patches. As trees age, they may lose patches of old bark because the lenticels become clogged with grime. The London plane displays a patchwork of light green fresh bark and grey old bark. Flowers. Flowers contain a tree's reproductive organs. Hermaphroditic trees, such as cherries, produce flowers with both male and female reproductive organs. Monoecious trees, such as birches, bear separate male and female flowers on the same tree. Dioecious trees, such as hollies, produce male and female flowers on separate trees. How flowers are carried on a tree aids in its identification. So you can have, I try not to talk with my mouth full, single flowers. The flowers on magnolia trees are normally born individually, with only one flower emerging from each flower bud. Catkins. Catkins are small, often petalous flowers arranged around a single stem. They may be drooping or upright. Birch trees produce pendulous male catkins and erect female catkins. This one here. Flower clusters. Flower clusters may be flat-topped, dome-shaped, as with the common hawthorn, or upright, as in the case of the foxglove tree's stalked tubular flowers. This is the common hawthorn, and this is the foxglove tree. Seeds. My last piece from the first biscuit. Seeds. Found within nuts, cones, fruit or berries, seeds are parcels that contain all the ingredients needed to produce the next generation of trees. Some may even have wings to aid their dispersal by wind. Seeds are produced from the female flower, or the female part of a flower, once it has been pollinated and fertilised. So we have an edible fruit, acorn, cone, winged seed, and a husk seed. Tree profiles. The trees have first been divided into three main groups: conifers, broadleaves with undivided, simple leaves, and broadleaves with compound leaves, which have leaves made up of smaller leaflets. Within each of these tree divisions, the trees are grouped by leaf shape. Deciduous and evergreen. Conifers. So I have to apologise, I thought this book was about British trees, and actually it isn't at all. It's about worldwide trees, which is far more interesting. So, conifers have existed on Earth for almost 300 million years. They predate flowering trees and bear reproductive organs in cones instead of flowers. They can survive extreme conditions from freezing, snowy winters to prolonged drought. Location. Adapted to grow at high altitudes, conifers can be found in mountainous regions and in northern temperate zones. Their conical shape enables them to shed snow without breaking branches. I have bits of biscuit all over my table. Okay, so let's flick through a little bit, I think. So these are all the types of okay, so these are the leaves of different conical trees. So this is the Grand Fir, Silver Fir, Caucasian Fir, Noble Fir, Chinese Plum Yew, Common Yew, Coastal Redwood, Douglas Fir. Sounds like somebody's name. Sounds like a Hollywood star. Douglas Fir, Western Hemlock, Wollemi Pine, Dawn Redwood. So Dawn Redwood was probably married to Douglas Fir. She's also an actress. I'm kidding. Swamp Cypress. And this is needle-like single leaves. Sitka Spruce, Brewer's Weeping Spruce, Serbian Spruce, Oriental Spruce, Norway Spruce. And then this section is about cones. This is needle-like leaves in clusters. So this is from the Austrian pine, the Monterey pine, the Scots pine, the Bhutan pine, the Canary Island pine, the Atlas cedar, the cedar of Lebanon, deodar cedar, common juniper, the European larch, the Japanese larch, and the hybrid larch. Fan-shaped leaves. This one is called Maidenhair Tree. It says, upright, broadly conical tree, unique leaves are borne on long, slender stalks and turn golden yellow in autumn. Yellow-green seed, present only on female trees, contains kernel, pale grey-brown bark, cracks with age. When I read books like this, it makes me realise how little I actually know about anything, really, in any particular detail. So these are scale-like leaves. Italian cypress, Lawson cypress, Monterey cypress, Leyland cypress, giant redwood, monkey puzzle, Japanese cedar, western red cedar, and incense cedar. And then we're on to the second section, broad leaves, simple. But I think we'll leave it there for now. I only managed one biscuit. I still have another. I'll have to keep that to one side for another video. No, I don't think it's going to last that long. that biscuit will go very soon. Anyway, thank you so much for popping by. This is Kate of the Library Whispers, and please pop by again if you enjoy my videos, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.